Hello, guys and gals, me Mudahar, and have you guys ever played Oblivion on a cell phone? A lot of people that load that stuff on their N-Gage. No? Have you ever played Oblivion on the Xbox 360? I know that I have. Okay, I actually went out of my way to play it on, like, really old systems. But we'll actually get to that in a little bit too. This game has a special place in my heart because back in the day when I was playing the PlayStation 2, I played games like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I was blown away back then. And you know what? When March 2006 rolled around, I played Oblivion on the actual PC at the time. And you know what? I'll be real. This blew my mind away. Imagine having a world where the open world is huge, the NPCs have a day-night cycle, the AI interacts with each other in the most magical ways possible, okay? To give you an idea, one of the funniest clips that I always see about this game, in fact, this one comes from an online account known as Synth Potato. I want you guys to watch this and just get a quick idea of how the world of Cyrodiil used to be back in the day.
I hope I can help. Necromancy may be legal in Cyrodiil, but few will openly admit to practicing it now that the Mages Guild has banned it. Farewell.
May you rest in peace.
It's always clips like that send me with this game. It's always beautiful to realize how the AI in Oblivion works. Just a few rough skills and letting the AI act unfettered leads to moments like this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, obviously, back in the day when we fired up those good old character creators, I didn't expect that they would end up looking like this. Whoa, Muda, that looks pretty good in terms of texture, asset quality. Are you sure this is a game from 2006? No, ladies and gentlemen, it just got remade in quite possibly one of the worst kept secrets in video gaming history. So to give you a little bit of context, about 2 years ago on r/gaming leaks and rumors, there was this post that was actually since deleted by the users, but thankfully, due to Redditors keeping a detailed account of this, that post was actually from an ex-employee of what appeared to be Bethesda. And first, they mentioned an Alter project, which is a remaster remake of Oblivion. So yeah, this game that's from 2006, which, we're looking at a nearly 20-fucking-year-old game at this point, okay? God damn, am I old. We're looking at actual retro gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this is, in fact, a goddamn retro game, okay? It is what it is. But anyways, to go back to this post, people are saying this is done using a pairing system, so it means the remaster is running in both an Unreal Engine 5 project and the old Oblivion engine. So they're running both engines, I guess, at the same time, one for the graphics and one for the beautiful AI logic that we saw just not too long ago in this video. So the graphics are rendered there, physics and gameplay are done in Oblivion, and you know what? Immediately when I read this, I was like, whoa. This sounds kind of awesome, okay? I do not want them to remake Oblivion if we're getting rid of the funny, goofy stuff that made the entire thing as popular in the first place, okay? And that includes all the bugs and issues that came from back in the day, too. That Bethesda jank has magic, especially for games as old as this. So, of course, down the road, 2025 comes by, and the studio behind it, Virtuos, ends up having an issue on their actual website which basically has them leak official screenshots of this game. So for a while, there's like a whole bunch of content creators who are like, they're gonna release Oblivion out of nowhere. They're gonna release a fucking remake of this game out of nowhere. Now, normally I would just sit there and be like, whoa, these big companies would probably want to hype up and announce this project, right? It wouldn't just shadow drop out of nowhere. Oh, it did. Literally today, earlier, there was a whole live stream by the good old boys over at Bethesda, and they basically revealed Oblivion, and not only revealed it, they fucking released the game, boys. Now, if you got Game Pass, you can probably download this shit for free, but I ended up getting it on Steam just so I could play it on PC, and I'm proud to say that it runs perfectly fine underneath Linux as well, so anybody that's questioning that, it works. But yeah, they showed up screenshots of this, and oh my god, it's starting up on my Steam Deck. Oh, baby. Baby, it works on the go, too. I don't know, I haven't fired up in-game, okay? Could probably run the 10 frames per second, but you know what? I'm gonna hope for the best. If I got footage, I'll probably slap it into this video right here. But anyways, you go to their website and they had this whole giant cybersecurity incident where like literally the entire trailer screenshots were released, right? Now, of course, these were actual screenshots that were grabbed from Virtuos's website, so it pretty much, like, if we didn't have the release date, you at least had all the fucking marketing material. And basically, there were people looking through, like, the Steam databases and looking for changes, which kind of signified that a game was pretty much about to shadow drop. Now, I wouldn't have made this video if this shadow drop didn't occur, but it did, and the game is out, and it's ready to be delivered. And let me tell you how good of sports Bethesda has been in this situation. There was another mod known as Skyblivion that I have actually been waiting years to play, and this is basically them remaking Oblivion in Skyrim's engine, which again is a different beast of a game to be playing under, right? So in this entire project, I was wondering, whoa, what if they somehow decide to cease and desist, right? Like they shut this project down. No! In fact, according to the fellas at Skyblivion, Bethesda's been so good, they actually were given entire game remastered keys for the whole modding team. So basically, we now are blessed with 2 Oblivion re-releases for this big fan base that we have. Now, Oblivion has a real special place in my heart. Back when I was younger, I had a computer with an Intel Graphics Media Accelerator 950. For anybody that had no idea what this GPU is, it's actually an integrated graphics card. I used to have an old compact computer that, you know, most of the games I played on there was shit like literally Half-Life, okay? Like Half-Life 1. You know, I was running Half-Life 2 back in the day at like 20 frames per second. I know that might sound like a joke to some of you, but yeah, that literally was like my struggle back in the day, at least when it came to, you know, playing some of those modern games, right? And obviously, when I was younger, I didn't really have the money to go to the GameStop and just pick up the brand new copy of Oblivion. So I did a sin. I unfortunately, when I was younger, might have accidentally perused Open Waters and got myself access to Oblivion. But I couldn't run it on this computer. No, until I actually ended up getting my hands on a mod known as Oblivion, where it made the game go from this visual style all the way to this. So yes, I played through the entirety of Oblivion and its side content looking like a fucking PlayStation 1 release, okay? So yeah, it was actually hilarious, like how far back I had to go to for visual styles, because ultimately, Oblivion is such a good game where the graphics don't even matter. Whether it be remastered or ray traced or putrid dog shit, the gameplay is pretty much all I'm excited for whenever it came to this beauty of a masterpiece. Now, I want to give you guys a quick little idea, right? To give you an idea, the last Oblivion video I made was probably like 7 years ago, where I was sneaking into a cave doing a late night side quest where the AI was just freaking me out the entire time. Generally speaking, the best experiences you will get with this game is when the artificial intelligence breaks and acts unnervingly weird. You want to talk about a video game creepypasta moment? This game is entirely filled with them. But one of the things that sucked me into Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and one of the reasons why I was so looking forward to playing this, in fact, I was actually playing through Oblivion like a couple weeks ago on my actual system, like the old version fired up. And honestly, the wildest thing that I ever experienced in this game was back in the day, I just killed an NPC. Like I went to a crack house in the game. So to give you an idea, Todd Howard and the team put a crack house into Oblivion. So you go to the city of Breville, and there's this skooma den, okay? Skooma is crack cocaine. So I decided to go to the skooma den, and I don't know, I was a young kid at the time, okay? I just wanted to kill stuff. I didn't even know the place I was in was a crack house. So lo and behold, I killed a crackhead. I killed a crackhead in the world of Cyrodiil. And now, whenever you kill a crackhead in Oblivion, or just an innocent NPC, the game will remind you that there are dark forces that have observed your evil. Well, it turns out the next time I slept in the game to level up, there was this weird fuck in black clothing named Lucien Lachance that grabbed me and told me that I should join the Dark Brotherhood, which is this, like, underground assassination guild. And you know, if there was any moment in a video game that made me immediately jump in and put over hundreds, if not thousands of hours into one singular game, it was probably that. You know, people always say like how Elder Scrolls is or like, you know, Bethesda side content is usually like what people are meant to be playing. This is probably the best example of a game about that. Now, I personally think Oblivion's the best Elder Scrolls game out there. I know for some people, also Arena and Daggerfall are their favorite games. And I'll probably say, like, procedural generation's cool, guys, until you get bored of it like 20, 30 hours in. Some people love Morrowind, and you're cool if you do. Some people love Skyrim, and you're cool if you do. But Oblivion's probably got one of the best maps in the game and probably some of the best mysteries and lore and shit to be experiencing. In fact, there's so much in this game that even playing the remake a little bit today, I discovered things that I've never experienced before, like entire quest lines that I just didn't decide to go down. I mean, there were places where you buy houses in this game that turn out to be haunted, so you actually have to go through an entire quest where you have to exorcise the paranormal demons in your house in order to sleep soundly in it. I mean, there is some insane amount of wild, goofy shit in this game, intermixed with really fun single-player storyline that, again, it just absolutely, if you give it a chance, will blow you away. You know, when it came to looking at really wild stuff in this game too, I remember one of the big creepypasta moments I had was like literally playing this game late at night on a weekend and coming across this journal entry, right? He's all right, mother. It's almost over. I'm close. So very close. How long have we struggled? How long have we waited? Too long, I know, but it's almost over. I promise. Kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. Yeah, you ever want to see schizophrenia and like complete mental destruction in a video game? This is one of those titles, and this is just a side piece, a side content that belonged in a quest line that I'm not going to spoil for you because I highly recommend, again, you actually play it. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite video games like ever made. And to see it be remastered incredibly faithfully is actually something that, again, I am glad to see. Like, at the end of the day, I thought this was going to be a bad re-release, but to give you an honest credit to it, right? Like, if you go to the actual Oblivion rating, like, you actually go to Steam for it, you'll see that, gladly, they're actually selling the game for, like, $50, okay? So it's not even a full-price release. But what they have done, surprisingly speaking, is bring back horse armor, which was the infamous controversy for the deluxe edition of the game. I mean, there's no way they're gonna sell horse armor again. And they are. But if you're one of those people where you just wanted all the DLC anyways, and this is pretty much the best way, I guess, to go get it. Now, the other thing about Oblivion as well, too, is looking at the release over here, one thing that I guess is pretty important to talk about is, like, the performance. This is an Unreal Engine 5 game, and like many Unreal Engine 5 games, it does, unfortunately, not perform the best, okay? So I would have probably picked this up on PlayStation and Xbox, and it seems to be doing just fine there, but because this is a shadow stealth drop, the likes of which Metal Gear hasn't even seen, this is quite literally a unreleased physical product, okay? Meaning that the only way to go get it is, unfortunately, digital, right? And it's also one of those games where if you ever complain about modern size on a video game, this requires 125 gigabytes of space on your system. So again, ladies and gentlemen, to give you the idea here, the original game is like 6 gigs, okay? It also doesn't look anywhere near as good as the assets in this game. But if you're somebody that doesn't want more than 6 gigs on you might want to just pick up the original game. Okay, I'm sure you can find it on GOG too, with all the DRM removed and all the DLC added. But if you're somebody willing to jump in and create the most decrepit character designs that God has ever allowed, because apparently the character creator in the old Oblivion and the new Oblivion allows you to create some serious abortion-worthy masterpieces, this is all there, ladies and gentlemen. It's all readily available. You know, I've never actually just had a big smile on my face when it comes to gaming quite recently. And I know that I'm getting excited on a goddamn remaster of a video game. But to be fair, it's not just any remaster. It's one of the best RPGs of all time, Oblivion. A game whose storyline that I still actually probably haven't even finished all the way through. I don't think I've actually beaten the original Oblivion. I just usually play the side content and explore the world, because it's just that engaging and fun. But I guess for the first time after, almost 20 years of playing, this game, I might actually go through and finish everything it finally has to offer in that fully remastered package. So yeah, out of nowhere, one of the biggest reveals of video gaming history, okay? One of the biggest shadow drops ever, quite possibly, maybe ever in the history of gaming. Out of nowhere, one of the biggest companies in the world releases the most sought-after remake, all, pretty much out of nowhere. I was honestly expecting them to release a trailer today and be like, yeah, pick it up in November. But I'm pretty sure they don't want to be challenging GTA 6 when it drops. I don't think any company does. So today, ladies and gentlemen, they released Oblivion. And to show you how successful this shadow drop apparently was, apparently it's gotten some actual record-breaking numbers. I mean, literally as it's released all day, and people are still at work, 156,232 live players playing a Shadow Drop. Wild stuff indeed. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I'm going back to the world of Citadel. I'm out.